Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Sasha Balja Singh and I'm a mental health clinical therapist. If this is the first video you're clicking on, I'm here to talk to you about domestic violence, so make sure and check out the first part of this video series that talks about the definition of domestic violence as well as the different types of domestic violence abuse. So in this video, I want to cover the cycle of domestic violence. There are 3 different stages of the cycle of violence. The first stage is tension building, the second stage is acute explosion, and the third stage is the honeymoon stage. So while explaining each stage, I'll be referring to what's common in the abuser and what's common in the victim in each of these stages. So for the tension building stage, the first stage, the abuser typically acts very sensitive and very on edge. The abuser might withhold affection from the victim. They might pick arguments, accuse the victim of being unfaithful. They may threaten the victim or do a lot of insults or put downs against the victim. In this stage, the victim's response is that they try to calm the abuser. They try to create a peaceful environment that minimizes the chances of the abuser exploding. Many times this includes nurturing the abuser or trying to satisfy the abuser. Now, as that tension builds up, it leads to the second stage, which is acute explosion. So in the acute explosion, this is where the act of violence takes place. So these are the things that we talked about in the first video with the types of abuse. So the abuser might verbally abuse and humiliate the victim to a great extent, or they might become physical with the victim. In some cases, this can lead to serious injury of the victim, and sometimes in this stage is where the victim might have to go to the emergency room or sometimes end up killed. So in this stage, the victim's response is usually to protect themselves, to find safety in any way possible. So this can be, they might run away, they may or may not report it to the police, they might fight back, or they might try and reason or calm the abuser. So in the third stage, it begins a lot with the abuser apologizing or showing remorse for their behavior. They may promise never to do it again. They may promise to get help, go to church. Sometimes they justify the reasons, they try to justify the reasons behind their behavior by stating why it was that they had that explosion. Many times that involves blaming the victim. In this stage, the victim's response is relief. They may come back to the household if they left, or they may drop any charges that were filed against the abuser if they went to the police. They may try to help the abuser by setting up counseling, for example, and it usually leads into the honeymoon stage where the abuser is very kind to the victim. They may buy the victim gifts, show the victim a lot of affection and attention. They may or may not seek the help, go to therapy, or start going to church or anything that they promised that they would do. And many times the tension starts to build again. The victim may hold on to the kindness that the abuser showed in the honeymoon stage and therefore minimize the magnitude of the abuse that happened in the acute explosion because things calm down. But then many times the tension building stage starts again, and that leads to the acute explosion, and the cycle then repeats itself, creating a state of denial for both the abuser and the victim because of the drastic change in dynamics throughout the cycle. So that is it for this video, talking about the cycle of domestic violence. Be sure to check out the other videos that talk about different aspects of domestic violence. So thank you for watching. Bye.